across the planet. Humanity is pushing the limits of engineering like never before. From tunnels carved beneath oceans to colossal dams reshaping entire regions, these projects aren't just construction sites. They're visions of the future already taking shape. Each one is redefining what's possible, whether it's bringing power to millions, slashing travel times across continents, or transforming how nations connect. Today, we're diving into 15 of the largest construction projects currently underway, epic feats of design, technology, and perseverance. Let's begin with number 15, a project so big it's changing the flow of a river that sustains an entire continent. Number 15, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Rising from the rugged highlands of western Ethiopia, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, is the most ambitious hydroelectric project in Africa's history. Built on the Blue Nile River, this colossal structure stretches nearly 1,800 meters across and towers 145 meters high. Once complete, it'll generate over 6,400 megawatts of electricity, enough to double Ethiopia's entire power capacity and supply energy to neighboring countries. Construction began in 2011, entirely financed by Ethiopia itself, a rare case of national crowdfunding through bonds and domestic investment. That independence has also fueled geopolitical tension. Downstream nations like Egypt and Sudan, which depend on the Nile's waters, fear reduced flow during the dam's filling period. Despite years of negotiations and international mediation, no final agreement has been reached. Yet, turbines are already online, producing partial power and giving Ethiopia a major leap toward energy self-sufficiency. Beyond electricity, the GERD is expected to regulate floods and support agriculture, but it also raises environmental concerns about habitat disruption and displaced communities. Whether seen as a symbol of progress or a flashpoint of regional politics, the Renaissance Dam stands as a monument to Africa's growing industrial power, and a reminder that controlling water can shape the destiny of nations. Number 14, the Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link. Deep beneath the Baltic Sea, engineers are building what will soon be the longest underwater road and rail tunnel on Earth. The Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link will connect Denmark and Germany through an 18-kilometer immersed tunnel, cutting travel time between Copenhagen and Hamburg by nearly half. Construction began in 2021 after years of environmental and political debate. Massive prefabricated concrete sections, each longer than a football field, are built on land, floated out to sea, and carefully lowered into a trench on the seabed before being sealed together. When finished, the tunnel will carry 4 lanes of highway traffic, 2 electrified rail lines, and a central service corridor for maintenance and emergencies. The Fehmarn Belt Link is part of the EU's Trans-European Transport Network, a vision to connect Europe through high-speed trade and travel routes. It's expected to open by 2029, transforming commerce and tourism between Scandinavia and mainland Europe, and proving that even the depths of the sea can't stand in the way of human connectivity. Number 13, the Central Wan Chai Bypass. In one of the world's densest cities, where every meter of land counts, Hong Kong has built a 4-kilometer underground expressway to untangle decades of gridlock. The Central Wan Chai Bypass runs beneath the bustling northern shore of Hong Kong Island, linking the city's business core to its eastern districts through a seamless 6-lane route. First proposed in the 1980s and completed in 2019, the project's crown jewel is a 3-kilometer tunnel that weaves below skyscrapers, seawalls, and historic districts, a feat of urban engineering precision. Before the bypass, rush hour traffic between Central and North Point could take 30 minutes or more. Now it's down to just 5 minutes. Beyond saving time, the project reduced emissions and reclaimed valuable surface space for parks and public use. The Central Wan Chai Bypass stands as proof that even in cities built to the brim, innovation can carve out new pathways, literally beneath our feet. Number 12, the California High-Speed Rail. Few projects in modern America have stirred as much debate as the California High-Speed Rail, the first true bullet train system in the United States. Designed to link San Francisco, Los Angeles, and beyond, it promises to whisk passengers across the state at speeds up to 220 miles per hour. Construction began in 2015, with the first 171-mile segment underway between Merced and Bakersfield in California's Central Valley. The project's vision is bold: a sustainable, high-speed corridor that rivals Europe and Asia's fastest trains. But ambition comes at a cost. What began as a $33 billion plan has ballooned past $100 billion, plagued by land disputes, environmental reviews, and political battles. Still, progress continues. Viaducts rise across farmland, bridges span highways, and stations take shape. When the first trains roll out, expected in the early 2030s, it will mark a new chapter for American transportation. A shift from highways and planes toward cleaner, faster, electric rail travel. Despite controversy, California's high-speed dream may yet prove that the U.S. can build for the future, not just the past. Number 11, the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link. In India's bustling financial capital, one of the longest sea bridges in the world is nearing completion. Stretching 22 kilometers across Thane Creek, the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link will finally connect South Mumbai to Navi Mumbai, slashing commute times from 2 hours to just 20 minutes. First envisioned in the 1960s, the project finally broke ground in 2018 after decades of delays. Built using advanced marine engineering, the 6-lane bridge is designed to withstand harsh monsoon conditions and heavy traffic. More than 70,000 vehicles per day once fully operational. It also links directly to the upcoming Navi Mumbai International Airport, promising to reshape the region's logistics and economy. To protect the area's mangroves and migratory birds, engineers rerouted sections and built artificial islands to preserve habitats, a rare case of environmental foresight in a megaproject of this scale. As of 2025, finishing touches are underway, with opening planned within the year. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link isn't just a bridge. It's a symbol of India's rise as an engineering powerhouse, connecting millions while conquering the sea itself. Number 10, the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Spanning the Detroit River between Windsor, Ontario, and Detroit, Michigan, the Gordie Howe International Bridge is reshaping one of North America's busiest border crossings. Named after the legendary Canadian hockey player, this colossal cable-stayed bridge will stretch to 5 kilometers with a central span of 853 meters, making it one of the longest of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. Construction began in 2018, led by the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority through a public-private partnership. But this project isn't just about the bridge itself. It includes massive new ports of entry, inspection plazas, and highway connections, transforming trade infrastructure on both sides of the border. The Detroit-Windsor corridor already handles over 25% of all U.S.-Canada trade, worth hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The existing Ambassador Bridge, built in 1929, has long struggled to handle modern traffic demands. The new bridge will finally change that, cutting congestion, improving freight flow, and strengthening economic ties between the two nations. As of 2025, both main towers have reached full height, and deck sections are being installed from each shore. When it opens in 2026, the Gordie Howe International Bridge will stand as a symbol of cooperation, commerce, and cross-border connection, a 21st century lifeline for two of North America's closest allies. Number 9, Sydney Metro. In Australia, a quiet revolution in public transport is underway. The Sydney Metro, the nation's first fully automated rapid transit system, is redefining how the city moves. Once complete, it'll stretch over 113 kilometers across 4 major lines, connecting 46 stations and serving millions of commuters every week. The first section, Metro Northwest, opened in 2019, linking the growing suburbs of Rouse Hill and Chatswood through sleek, driverless trains running every 4 minutes. Now, the most ambitious phase, Metro City and Southwest, is tunneling directly beneath Sydney Harbour and the Central Business District. Twin 15-kilometer tunnels are being carved through dense urban ground, with new underground stations at Barangaroo, Pitt Street, and Waterloo. It's one of the most complex tunneling operations ever attempted in Australia. Further expansions, including Metro west of Parramatta and the Western Sydney Airport line, are already underway. These projects are being funded by the New South Wales government, backed by private investment, and together represent an estimated $40 billion infrastructure transformation. By the time it's fully operational in the mid-2020s, Sydney Metro will offer one of the world's most advanced and sustainable rail systems. Cleaner, faster, and built for the future of one of the world's fastest-growing cities. Number 8. Hinkley Point C. On the wind-swept coast of Somerset, England, two enormous concrete domes rise against the horizon. This is Hinkley Point C, the United Kingdom's first new nuclear power station in more than 2 decades. Developed by EDF Energy in partnership with China General Nuclear Power Group, this twin reactor plant will generate 3,200 megawatts of electricity, enough to power 6 million homes. Construction began in 2016, following years of planning and debate over cost, safety, and environmental impact. The project's goal is clear: to provide reliable, low-carbon power and help the UK meet its net zero emissions target by 2050. Building it hasn't been easy. The site's enormous marine works, including tunnels beneath the Bristol Channel for cooling water intake, have pushed engineering to its limits. The budget has grown from £18 billion to over £32 billion, making it one of Europe's costliest infrastructure projects. Yet progress continues. The first reactor base is complete, turbine halls are taking shape, and miles of reinforced concrete form the plant's backbone. By 2029, the first unit is expected to begin generating power, followed a year later by the second. When complete, Hinkley Point C won't just be a power plant. It will be a cornerstone of Britain's clean energy future and a symbol of nuclear power's role in fighting climate change. Number 7. Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway. In Indonesia, the future of rail travel has already arrived. The Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway, Southeast Asia's first bullet train line, connects the nation's capital to the industrial hub of Bandung in just 40 minutes. Covering 142 kilometers, this gleaming line was built as a joint venture between Indonesia and China, and it's a key part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. Construction began in 2016 and involved 13 tunnels, dozens of elevated tracks, and seismic protection systems designed to withstand Indonesia's frequent earthquakes. The project faced years of setbacks, from land disputes and financing delays to pandemic slowdowns, but by 2024, the system officially launched under the name Whoosh, inspired by the Indonesian phrase for high-speed travel. Trains on the line reached 350 kilometers per hour, slashing the old 3-hour car journey to less than 1. It's a game-changer for commuters and a showcase of how developing nations can leapfrog into advanced transportation technology. Plans are already underway to extend the line east of Surabaya, potentially creating the backbone of a new high-speed corridor across Java. The Jakarta-Bandung Railway isn't just about faster travel. It's about a nation moving boldly into the future. Number 6. The Istanbul Canal. Few projects have stirred as much fascination or controversy as Turkey's Istanbul Canal, dubbed the Second Bosphorus. This planned 45-kilometer-long artificial waterway will connect the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, effectively creating a new route between Europe and Asia. Announced in 2011 as part of Turkey's Vision 2023 plan, the canal aims to reduce congestion in the existing Bosphorus Strait, one of the busiest maritime passages in the world. With over 40,000 ships passing through each year, many carrying hazardous cargo, accidents are a constant risk. The new canal is designed to provide a safer, more controlled alternative. The proposed route cuts through the European side of Istanbul and is expected to be 275 meters wide and 21 meters deep, capable of handling some of the world's largest cargo vessels. Supporters hail it as a project that will boost trade, create tens of thousands of jobs, and assert Turkey's control over waterways. Critics, however, warn of potential ecological damage, displacement, and geopolitical tensions, especially concerning the Montreux Convention, which governs military transit through Turkish straits. As of 2025, preparatory construction is underway, though full-scale excavation remains pending amid financial hurdles. Whether it becomes an engineering triumph or a cautionary tale, the Istanbul Canal represents the scale of ambition that defines modern Turkey. Bold, controversial, and determined to leave a mark on global trade routes. Number 5. The Crossrail Project, Elizabeth Line. Beneath the heart of London, one of Europe's most ambitious infrastructure projects has quietly reshaped the city. The Crossrail project, now officially known as the Elizabeth Line, is a vast underground railway stretching 118 kilometers from Reading and Heathrow in the west to Shenfield and Abbeywood in the east. Approved in 2007 and under construction for more than a decade, it involved carving 42 kilometers of new tunnel through the dense foundations of one of the world's oldest capitals. Entire underground stations, like Tottenham Court Road in Farringdon, were built from scratch, some directly beneath existing tube lines and historic structures. When the Elizabeth Line fully opened in 2023, it instantly transformed the city's transport network. Travel times were slashed. Journeys that once took 30 minutes, like from Paddington to Canary Wharf, now take just 18 minutes. Carrying up to 200 million passengers per year, it's easing congestion on the underground and improving access to outer boroughs. Though originally budgeted at £14.8 billion, the final cost surpassed £19 billion, driven by the complexity of integrating modern systems into centuries-old infrastructure. Today, Crossrail stands as a model of urban innovation, a modern artery pulsing beneath London's streets, uniting neighborhoods and proving that even a city built in the past can still move toward the future. Number 4, NEOM, the city of the future. In the vast deserts of northwestern Saudi Arabia, a city unlike any other is being built, a place that looks more like science fiction than urban planning. This is NEOM, a $500 billion megacity that aims to redefine sustainable living, technology, and human design. Covering 26,000 square kilometers, NEOM is a central piece of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, the country's bold plan to diversify its economy beyond oil. Its most famous component, the line, is a proposed 170-kilometer-long linear city that will house up to 9 million residents. It's designed without roads or cars, powered entirely by renewable energy and managed by artificial intelligence. Residents will live within vertical communities, with all daily needs just minutes away by high-speed transit. Other planned regions include Oxagon, a floating industrial complex on the Red Sea, Trojena, a mountain resort where desert meets snow, and Sindala, a luxury island destination for global tourism. Construction began in the late 2010s, with major groundwork and early infrastructure underway. Critics question its feasibility and environmental costs, but supporters see it as a revolutionary leap, a prototype for cities of the future. As of 2025, visible progress includes foundation work for the line's mirror walls and initial modules of Oxagon taking shape. NEOM might still be years away from realization, but its vision alone represents humanity's relentless pursuit to design a better, smarter world from the ground up. Number 3, China's expanding high-speed rail network. If there's one project that defines modern engineering on a national scale, it's China's high-speed rail network. Since the early 2000s, China has built the largest high-speed rail system in the world. Over 42,000 kilometers of track, accounting for more than 2/3 of all global high-speed rail. And the expansion hasn't stopped. By 2035, that network is expected to reach 50,000 kilometers, connecting nearly every major city in the country. The first modern line, between Beijing and Tianjin, opened in 2008. Today, sleek Fuxing bullet trains glide across plains and mountains at speeds up to 350 kilometers per hour, turning once distant regions into commuter zones. A key component of this plan is the Sichuan-Tibet Railway, one of the world's most extreme engineering challenges. It winds through seismic zones and high altitudes where oxygen is scarce, demanding custom rail beds and oxygen systems for workers. Beyond transportation, high-speed rail has become a cornerstone of China's economic and political strategy. It boosts trade, cuts emissions, and connects rural provinces to major economic centers. Internationally, Chinese firms are exporting this expertise, building railways in Indonesia, Thailand, and Turkey as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Despite criticism over debt and environmental impact, the scope of this network remains unmatched, a living symbol of speed, ambition, and national cohesion. Number 2, the Dubai Creek Tower. Few cities chase architectural world records like Dubai, and its latest creation might surpass them all. The Dubai Creek Tower, designed by Santiago Calatrava and developed by Mar Properties, is envisioned to rise over 1,000 meters, surpassing even the Burj Khalifa, anchored within the Dubai Creek Harbour district. The tower is designed as a new global icon, inspired by the shape of a desert lily and the elegance of traditional Arabic minarets. The tower's slender spire will be supported by a network of steel cables radiating from massive ground anchors, creating a graceful, tent-like silhouette. Inside, multiple observation decks, including the Pinnacle Room, a rotating glass platform, offer 360-degree views of the city, the Gulf, and the desert beyond. Groundwork began in 2016, though vertical construction has slowed as developers synchronize it with a broader Creek Harbour development. Once complete, it will serve not only as an observation tower, but as a global symbol of Dubai's architectural ambition, the city's ongoing promise to reach higher, dream bigger, and define the skyline of the future. Number 1, the Brenner Base Tunnel. Deep beneath the Eastern Alps, engineers are carving out one of Europe's greatest infrastructure feats, the Brenner Base Tunnel. Stretching 64 kilometers from Innsbruck, Austria, to Fortezza, Italy, this tunnel will become the longest underground railway in the world when completed. It's part of the Scandinavian-Mediterranean corridor, a critical European transport route linking northern and southern Europe. For centuries, the Brenner Pass above has been a vital trade route, but also one of the most congested. Trucks and trains crawl through mountain slopes, battling steep gradients and sharp curves. The new tunnel, running nearly flat beneath the Alps, will cut travel time between Innsbruck and Fortezza from 80 minutes to just 25. Excavation began decades ago, but full-scale construction accelerated in the 2010s, funded jointly by Austria, Italy, and the European Union. Over 80% of tunneling is now complete, with breakthroughs connecting the two nations deep underground. Once finished in the early 2030s, the Brenner Base Tunnel will handle both freight and passenger trains, shifting transport away from roads and reducing carbon emissions. It's a marvel of international cooperation, a bridge not over mountains, but through them, proving that with enough willpower and precision, even the Alps can be conquered. From underwater tunnels and high-speed rails to futuristic cities and megadams, these projects show how far human imagination can reach when paired with determination. They aren't just monuments to engineering, they're promises of what the future can look like. Which of these projects would you most like to see completed in your lifetime? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the incredible world of modern engineering.